All right, guys. We have to give you a disclaimer because we're here at a puppy's house. I'm puppy sitting for a 7-month-old. I don't know what kind of dog. Terrier, Great Dane, Chihuahua.
She's really cute.
Yeah, she's a cutie, but she is crazy girl.
She's definitely a puppy.
She decided right now to be all crazy.
Yeah, she was calm, and then we started recording, and she's going crazy. So if you hear anything in the background, that's why.
Yeah. Fret not.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. So in any case, we are talking about polyamory. Yes, we are. Have you dabbled?
I've dabbled.
I guess I've dabbled in the broad sense.
First, before we go into it, did you do anything fun this week?
Quit my job.
Yep. There it is. We quit our job.
Quit my job.
So that's cool. You've been wanting to do that for a while.
Yeah. So I'm in a career transition right now. I've been taking some online classes. I'm really know what I'm doing, but we're here. Yeah, it's a weird time. It's a weird time to like start over again. Like I feel like I'm too old for this, but also I'm not. People start over at lots of different times in life. And we've talked about this before on the pod, I think, because you mentioned your dad.
My dad went back to school when I was in high school. He was like in his 40s.
Yeah. So, it can happen anytime. I don't know that I want to go back to school completely, but like taking courses helps. What I want to do is digital nomad stuff, which I don't think you need to go back to school for. Because a lot of these stuff, like, you can just do boot camps.
Okay.
Or learn by doing. That was my week. How was your week?
My favorite part of this week was we had a girls' night, and that consisted of a few of us. We have a group of friends that all live in the same area, so we got together, and it was fun.
It really is nice to have these friends that all live in the same area.
We had a nice time at your house, chilling with the girls, drinking wine.
Yeah, what did we do?
Oh, I didn't drink wine. I don't know why I thought I drank wine.
Well, we drank wine the next
night, but I came to your house very, very stoned off an edible because I ate too much of it.
What did we even do that night? We were supposed to do crafts.
Yeah,
but we didn't really end up doing crafts. Yeah, we were just chit-chatting. We were gonna record. That's what happened. We were gonna record the podcast and do some interviews, but we were all a little out of it.
Yeah, it wasn't the time. We decided we wanted to go into polyamory this week and talk about what it is, what are some common terms that you may not know about, and we're going to talk to one of our friends, Bopa, who has had more experience with polyamory than we have, and just hearing her side, hearing her story, of why she wanted to try it out in the first place, where she's at with it now. So that'll be fun.
Yes. But first,
what is
polyamory? So there's a lot of terms that go into it, but according to readyforpolyamory.com, polyamory is a subset of ethical non-monogamy where the assumptions is that all partner may seek out multiple loving relationships, from the Greek poly, which means many, in Latin amor, meaning love.
Many loves.
Yeah, so do you remember the first time you heard the word poly? Because I do.
I don't think it was the first time I heard it because I don't remember when that was. The first time I really saw it and kept hearing it was when I became single after dating someone for 3.5 years and wanting to explore my queer side more. And then I started noticing everybody who's queer in Los Angeles is polyamorous.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but
lot.
It was like majority of people that I would match with. So that's kind of how I kind of learned more about it. So but you said you remember the exact, you remember hearing polyamorous for the first time?
So yeah, I knew about it for a while, but that was in college. I had a friend that was poly and also non-binary.
Wow.
And yeah, it was like pretty progressive because it was Indiana and it was 2012 or 2013. I don't know what pronouns they use now, but now I think at the time they were they, them, but they might have gone back to she, her now, but I think it's they, them. I'm going to go with they, them. But
final answer.
On their graduation cap, it was like, because you know how you can like decorate your graduation cap? It was like break the binary or something like that. and they made the superintendent of the school or the school president, I don't know what it's called. They convinced them to do genderless bathrooms.
Oh.
Yeah, so some of the bathrooms were changed.
Nice.
To
making change.
Yeah. Because of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were like my friend and kind of like in, you know, my group of friends, and they were talking about being in a poly relationship. And I remember we used to have these like long walk talks because it was Indiana. We were walking and talking and smoking cigarettes, and they told me about it, and I was like, "What's poly?
What's poly?" I'm sure I heard it back in the day too. I just never paid it a lot of attention.
I mean, I think we've heard of these kind of relationships, like threesomes, obviously, and
thruples.
Like thruples, and like the free love movement of the 60s and 70s. Like it's not like it was unheard of for us, but the term polyamorous, I think, is relatively like nuanced.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into the term polyamory. Like it's pretty much, it can mean a lot of different things. So it just depends on who you are, what your boundaries are, what you're okay with. There's a lot of different types of partners somebody can have. When I first heard of polyamory, I was like, well, is one partner above the other? Like you have like a main partner and then you have side partners, or are they all even, or how does that work? And I think it just depends on the relationship and what they want it to be like.
Yeah.
So there's not one right way to do polyamory.
I do think that there are a lot of couples that have a main, there's a term for it.
Yeah, we can actually get into that.
So we looked up some common terms because there's a lot of like random terminology that goes into the polyamory world. And some of this terminology is in the queer world in general.
Yeah, I noticed that, how it was just like, it seems like it's a blanket glossary for just anything that could come up with being poly.
Yeah, because bisexual's in this glossary.
Yeah, non-binary's in it.
Yeah.
But we know all that stuff. But the one that I was...
Sorry, I just saw a word that I really like this word.
What is it?
Compersion.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah.
Compersion. What does it mean?
I remember finding out about this word a while back, but I used to teach ESL and I taught it to my class.
Oh.
But yeah, it's happiness at the joy of one's partner in another relationship. The opposite of jealousy, sometimes described. So it's like...
So they're like happy for the person and their other partner.
Yeah, and I've seen it described as even deeper than that. It's almost like you feel like love for them. Like it's almost you feel stronger by seeing them with somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Makes your love stronger.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But
Everyone
also
is so
just
different.
like happy for them. Yeah.
Everyone is so different. Could not be me.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a jealous person.
So the person that I was thinking of when I was saying like your main partner, I guess it's called an anchor partner. And that one is the central partner, like the central figure, the rock, the anchor to lean on. So it's like a primary partner. So anchor partner, primary partner, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard primary partner.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of earlier.
Well, I guess anchor partner is also a way to say that.
That makes sense. What were some other words that you found?
Comet? I just thought it was cute because of what it is. But if you have a partner who's a comet, and that's like a comet that flies through the sky, a long distance relationship where the partners only meet in person rarely, but are happy to pick up their connection at those times and be less intensely in touch between, like a comet passing close enough for the Earth to see every few years. So you're kind of just like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people have relationships like that.
Yeah, it's like people that are like, I got hoes in Florida.
I got hoes in different area codes.
Exactly.
They got comets all over the place. But I think I feel like I have friends that are comets. Like, I don't talk to them necessarily on a daily basis or even a weekly basis, but if I'm going to be in the area, I'm going to hit them up, and then we pick up like nothing was lost.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I do too. I mean, I for sure do. Like, that are friends.
Yeah. Not romantic.
Not romantic, because we're in monogamous relationships right now. What else did you find?
So a polycule.
That's fun.
Yeah, that is a term for groups of people who have decided not to see people outside of their existing relationship network. So it could be a group maybe like of 3 people who are dating each other.
Or more.
But they are a little polycule, like they're settled on the people they have chosen, and that's their...
I think that's kind of cute.
It's cute.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like
we're a little polycule.
It's like the in-between of monogamy and polyamory, because that's cute. I like that a lot. Polycule.
There was also cowboy and cowgirl.
Okay, what's that?
I just like the names. But it's names for someone who acts polyamorous and then after forming a relationship tries to remove their partner from the polycule to be monogamous with them. So called because they are roping one off from the herd. Some folks use cowpoke as a gender neutral term for this instead of cowboy, cowgirl.
Cowpoke.
Yeah, but I think it's funny. But you know, I could see there being people like that where they're like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm poly. And then once they fall in love with you, they're like, all right, you got to leave your little polycule and be with me. So that's a cowboy cowgirl.
That is cute. There's another one that is cute. The name is cute anyway. Kitchen table polyamory. But in order to talk about that, we have to talk about paramour, metamor, and telomores.
There's so much to this. I just didn't even know.
And I feel like this is important though. I think it's like your second cousins, basically. I think of it as a family tree. So paramour is your love or your partner.
Okay.
Metamor, so you think of like meta.
Mm-hmm.
That's a partner of your partner. So
all I think of when you say paramour is Paramore.
Yeah. Well, that's probably why they have the name, like the band. Well, that's probably why they named it that.
You think so? That's
yeah, about
they
love.
spell it, is it? Oh,
yeah.
The band named it that.
Yeah.
Well, that's really ahead of their time too, if that's true.
But paramour doesn't have to do with. It doesn't have to do with polyamory because it's about just your love. It's
just your love. Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
But then there's metamor, which is a partner of your partner. So, for example, if Kadar,
that's my partner,
had a girlfriend,
no,
that was not you,
not gonna happen.
She would be your metamor.
Okay.
Then the last one is the telomor. So that is the partner of a metamor. Partner. Yeah, so partner of a metamor. Basically.
That's crazy. So like you could all just be connected with everyone. Like you said, like cousins.
Like the L word.
Like the L word.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole web.
Wow.
But anyway, now that we have those terms established, the other weird term was kitchen table polyamory.
Yes, please tell me what that is.
So it's a style of polyamory, in which the interrelationship of a network, oh my God, this is a lot of words, and the integration of multiple romantic relationships into one life group is prioritized.
I don't get it.
Close relationships between metamors and telemors are strongly encouraged or required.
Oh, so everyone has to be cool with everyone, basically.
Yeah. The name comes from the notion that all members of a network can sit around the kitchen table in their PJs drinking coffee.
Oh, okay. Cute.
Yeah.
Like the Golden Girls.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're actually polyamorous.
They might be. We'll never know. Another term I heard a lot when I was like on the dating scene was nesting partner. Instead of saying like, the partner you live with, because that's all it is.
Yeah.
They say nesting partner. So if you share a home with them. So a lot of people I would meet on my little dating journey would be like, oh yeah, I'm poly. I have a nesting partner and blah, blah, blah. So I would know like, okay, so you live with your partner and then you have other partners.
Yeah.
So that's almost like, to me, if you live with your partner, wouldn't that be like they're also your primary partner?
Yeah, like nesting partner seems like it would be the primary partner.
Yeah. Also, have you heard of solo polyamory?
No.
So I saw this on a lot of dating profiles too. It's a form of polyamory in which a person chooses to be their own primary partner. So they build connections without the assumption of progressing up the relationship. So they're more focused on themselves, but they still want like a secondary partner, I guess. And this often includes living apart from all partners. So you're not going to have a nesting partner. You're kind of just yourself is your partner.
Yeah.
Is your main partner, which I kind of like because I'm like, okay, you do you. Like you want that alone time.
Well, that's just dating around.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should all be solo polyamorous.
Yeah, like until you find your person.
Yeah, and even then you should put yourself first sometimes, don't forget about yourself.
That's true. Yeah.
One more thing that I found that we're going to actually hear later in our interview with Bopa, but a unicorn.
And this is something I think bisexual women specifically have a lot of experience with.
Yes. A unicorn is a bisexual woman who prefers to have a relationship with both parts of a heterosexual couple on terms set primarily by the couple's agreement. So it's heterosexual couple, and they're looking for a bisexual woman, which I feel like that's what a lot of couples, when they're trying to experiment, is looking for.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh, bisexuals. Like, that's what we want. So a unicorn is that woman who is also like cool to hook up or be a partner to this couple who's already established.
One of my friends was a unicorn, but she hated it because I think she's mostly gay, but she was more into the girl than she was the guy. And it was really tough for her because she was friends with the guy, but like she didn't really care about having sex with him or anything.
I feel like my friend was for a little bit, but she had too many weird experiences just with like the guy being like really into it. But then when they get back to the house, he gets randomly jealous and doesn't want to participate, doesn't even want the girl to participate anymore. And it just gets really awkward because then they start fighting. And it's like, if you weren't sure about this, like maybe don't seek it out.
Yeah.
But so she was kind of like, I'm good on that. There's also unicorn hunters.
Yeah, and that's the couple looking for a unicorn, which we are annoyed by as bisexual people if we're not unicorns, because sometimes you just want to go on a date with a girl, and we talk about this later, but sometimes you just want to go on a date with a girl, and she's like, oh, and maybe you can meet my boyfriend too. Yeah, like, and sometimes they don't even tell you they have a boyfriend until after you match with them or after you're on a date with them. They're tricksters.
They're tricksters, and it's not nice. Did you find any other terms that you thought were fun?
Oh, this one's kind of funny. one penis policy.
Oh my God, I love this one.
Firmly enforced rules that there can only be one penis having individual, typically a cis man, in a relationship network.
You know, I can't
But this is often considered transphobic.
Oh yeah, that would be. If it's a cis man that they're like, okay, I can't handle more than one cis man being in you. Weird, but okay.
I kind of get it.
What was your experience with polyamory?
Well, I guess technically my 5-year relationship I was in before the one I'm in now was polyamorous because we were in a quote unquote open relationship. Mm-hmm. But we were not really actively. There were certain points in the relationship where we would go on like separate Tinder dates with people, mm-hmm. and nothing more than a kiss would happen. Yeah. And then we wouldn't continue to see that other person really.
So it was just like dabbling.
Yeah. But my relationship ended because we started to date other people again. And then I met somebody who's my partner now.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. It's scandalous. A little scandalous.
Scandalous.
So polyamory did not work for me.
Well, it didn't really work for me either. When I first became single again after my relationship, I was exploring my queer side more because I was in a heterosexual relationship. So I was like pretty much just interested in women or trans people, mm-hmm. and not really cis men, like wasn't really my priority. And I noticed a lot of queer people are poly or say they're poly. And that was hard at first because I was like, I don't want to be poly. I don't get it, you know?
Yeah.
But then after researching, I actually dated this person who was really cool about like educating me and what it means and like just laying it all out, being very open and honest with me. And they lived a little far, so it didn't last super long, but we did hang out a lot, and they would tell me like, yeah, my other partner, da-da-da-da.
Is that the one that said that they were poly but then got real crazy on you?
No. This person was not a crazy person.
Okay.
They lived in Ohio, and I lived in West Virginia at the time. So it was like an 1.5-hour drive to go see them, but we made it work for a little bit. My overall experience once I got back to LA was dating people in LA who were poly. Not great. I feel like here's what I have a problem with. People using it or doing it because it's like trendy and everyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
But they don't really feel that way in their hearts. You know, I saw a couple people who say they're poly and then actually they're really jealous. And I dated one girl in particular who was very upfront about being poly at first. She was like, this is the situation. This is what I'm doing. And I was like,
yeah. Okay. And I remember when we were talking about her, I was like, oh, she might be like a fuckboy. Like, be careful.
Yeah. But no, she was really actually super into me, like love bombing me kind of.
Yeah.
And when I told her, I was like, okay, yeah, like, I've never said I'm poly, but I'm also seeing somebody else as well. And it's my current partner that I have now. And I was like, so hopefully that's not a problem. And she was like, no, it's fine. I'm poly, you know? But then all of a sudden it was a problem because he was a man. I don't know. She didn't like that. She didn't like it at all. And I'm like, well, I'm bisexual. She was like, I can't like be with someone who's with a man at the same time as me. And I was like, okay,
that's like some insecurities.
Maybe you should have said that. Like that was one of your boundaries. Like that would have been nice to know before we got 2 weeks in, but whatever.
That's also like, I feel like not really a fair boundary.
I mean,
if you're dating a bisexual person and you're polyamorous,
just don't date bisexual women.
Yeah.
That's a boundary for you.
Yeah.
But she knew I was, but whatever. But yeah, I just feel like a lot of it is it's always the people who shout from the top of their lungs that they are poly who are the least poly people. You know what I mean? Like that has been my experience in LA. And when people are actually poly and it works for them and everyone's happy, cool.
Yeah.
I'm super into it. But don't just do it because it's like the cool thing to do right now. And then actually you do feel some type of way when your partner hangs out with someone else, you know?
Right. I feel like the people that you don't even know are poly are the best. Like and they're going to be on the pod.
Yeah. We decided
like our friends,
we're going to
blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. They use different names. But,
yeah. Our friends are going to be on the podcast. Well, we're going to do not soon, but there's going to be another episode. Part 2 of poly because we do have a couple friends who have different situations that would be interesting to talk to. So, yeah. This first one, though.
Yeah. So, Bopa, we met on Bumble BFF.
Yeah, that's so cute.
I feel like Bumble BFF is like a lot of queer girls or like alternative relationship-wise people are on there because, you know, it's like the internet people of dating, but the internet people of friends.
I never had luck with Bumble BFF.
I got really lucky because it was like during the heat of the pandemic and I don't know. I was just like, she's got tattoos. She likes cats. She likes to drink. She likes to make art.
Yeah, and it turns out like you picked a good one because she's amazing.
Yeah.
And I met her through you once I came back to LA and you had like new friends and I was like, who the fuck
who's that
are these people? But I love them and I'm really happy you matched with Popa on Bumble BFF.
Yeah, she's great. She used to be poly but is now in a monogamous partnership. Yeah. A monogamous partnership.
Yeah.
But she's going to tell us more.
Guys, I'm on my period and I got a rice bag on my belly.
Sucks.
She's a real trooper, okay?
But it's not about me. It's about a third pod member we have today.
Friend of the pod.
And she listens to a lot of our episodes, which we really appreciate. And we love her so much. Her name is Bopa.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, guys. Thank you
for being here, Bopa.
Thank you so much.
So as you guys know, today we're talking about polyamory. So we got Bopa here because she has a couple things to say about her experience being poly at one point in her life.
Yeah, it was like a while ago. Right now, I don't consider myself poly, but it's definitely influenced like my own personal monogamous relationship. So
like the one that you're in right now?
Yeah, I'm currently in a relationship with my partner for like 5 years.
Nice.
But we've known
5 years.
Yeah. But we've known each other a long time. And actually he was like friends with me through the process of me being poly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like he knows everything. There's no secrets. And I feel like that's just kind of like the poly experience itself is just like there really is no secrets. Like I had a motto of just like open, honest communication. I remember I first like started, I didn't call myself poly. I just called myself non-monogamous. And I was using OkCupid because I didn't need a Facebook to log in. At that time, I don't know why you needed a Facebook to log into dating apps. Like I never got Tinder. Bumble, I couldn't at that time.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, now I can.
But OkCupid is actually really good for like the queer, like alternative dating world because like it allows like different options.
Yeah, so they had like a non-monogamous option, and I had used that a lot. First thing I learned really quick was like I was a unicorn, basically.
What does that mean?
So it's like couples are always seeking out a third, and it's typically they're looking for like a bisexual young woman to have like spice up their life a little bit.
Interesting.
I didn't participate in any of that because I was just like, I don't know. It seems like a youth guys kind of thing. You guys need to figure that out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just seemed messy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm figuring out my own shit right now.
Mhm.
So I'd rather just like have it on my own terms instead of like some other couple's terms, and then just be like, okay, I agree with that.
Yeah. That does sound messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I would get on, it was basically all the dating apps. I'd get disappointed because I'd see like a cute girl that I match with that's like actually looking for a third with her
Mhm.
boyfriend.
Mm.
They'll like
all
sneak
the
it in
dating
there
apps.
later.
Yeah.
Like they'll act like it's just them, and then it's
Yep.
like, oh, but my boyfriend, da-da. He'll just be there. Like
He just wants to watch.
I went on a date with a girl who she didn't tell me that she had a boyfriend until we were on the date.
Mm.
Yeah. She was like, yeah, he like wants to, we live together, but he wants to move out and like live on his own. You know, that's just us. And I was like, girl,
Sounds like he's trying to break up
sounds
with
like
you.
he's trying to leave your ass. Like, I don't know about that, but
That's funny. That's just us.
it's just, it's just like us. Like, we're totally cool. I'm like, I don't know. Sounds
Yeah.
wrong.
I feel like that's also like a thing I learned with being poly, is just like trying to communicate what I want exactly with people. Like I'm the person who's just like, no bullshit. I'm not here to play games. And I know a lot of people like to do that, or they're just like, I don't know how to communicate my thoughts, but like, I'm going to get mad at you because you didn't read my mind.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just didn't want to. I was like, I'm going to be efficient about this and just go for it. I was only dating men at the time, and I did end up having a couple partners that did identify as non-monogamous. And eventually I found like a partner that ended up being my boyfriend, and he was not non-monogamous, but he was definitely very like exploring his sexual side a lot. Like he was very active on FetLife, and he was participating like in a lot of swingers parties.
Ooh.
Yeah, like he wasn't like a sex worker, but it was more of like the people who hosted the parties sought after him because he was younger and they needed a younger audience to like participate in it. So like I knew that, and I didn't mind that at all. I was just like, yeah, you do you. I mean, as long as you're getting tested, I think that's another thing too, is like sexual health is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely have to, like, that's part of like the communication.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to be open and honest, because you want to make sure you're not getting STDs.
Yeah.
I think it's also like framed in a way where like, it's not like shamed, but it's just more of like, hey, we just need to talk about it because that's just the adult thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has to get tested before participating in like these parties, and they need to make sure that everyone else does too. And so then that makes me feel comfortable as his partner, knowing that like he's going in about it like a smart way.
Yeah, being safe
about it. Yeah. But that relationship, it was really interesting because it didn't quite work out for other reasons. But he was a man child.
Was that like your first like dip into the polyamory world?
For me, like how I defined it was like I let like literally everyone know what's going on.
Yeah.
I had no filter. I was just very open about everything because I just didn't want to keep secrets. And I also just, like I said, I just really hated playing that game.
Yeah.
When I started dating him and seeing him and stuff, he knew I was seeing other people. But we had just made it official because he's like, I really want you to meet my girlfriend. And I was like, in the heat of the moment, I was like, oh my God, yes.
So romantic.
Oh my God. Yeah, we were at a concert and there was a lot of feelings and stuff involved. And yeah, but what did end up having us break up is because he had set specific rules between us. Like for example, I had expected him to come over and sleep over. But I knew that he was hanging out with a girl that he had been like playing Magic the Gathering with. And
nerd.
Same thing.
Yeah. No, they had been playing that together, and then he was like, I'm hanging out at our place, and she's like, my other partner. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But like, I'm going to stay up because I'm expecting you to come over. He's like, okay. But then he just like never hit me up. And then I just ended up like sleeping alone in bed and like thinking about what he's doing. And I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I was like, I put my boundaries down. I laid it out. I made it very clear. And then like, I don't know if it's like, was I expecting too much? I don't know.
I don't think so. Like,
If he said he was going to come spend the night with you, he should have spent the night with you. And if he wasn't going to,
He should have told
he
me.
should have told you.
But yeah, I wouldn't
that's
have
Part of like
hard.
his side of
Yeah.
being open and honest.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
That was the problem, is like I would be so open and honest and he wasn't. So I was just like, this isn't gonna work out.
Mhm.
Like, I get it, this is like both our first time being in like a serious relationship as poly, but yeah, it just didn't quite work out. But I love that we were so encouraging to be like, yeah, go hang out with this other person. Like, you have this time
Yeah.
scheduled. Yeah,
Mhm.
like, why are you hanging out with me? Go and
Yeah.
hang out with them because you said that you would. Like, you need to.
Yeah.
Mhm. What made you want to try polyamory or not ethical non-monogamy?
I had just moved out of my parents' house. So I was like, I just graduated from college, but I was living with my parents all throughout college. And I had only been in, like, I was like a serial monogamous.
Mhm.
I didn't want to be that anymore. I think I was just kind of like, you know what, I'm going to try dating apps. But then once I quickly realized how shady guys could be, I was just like, I'm going to go ahead and just, I wanted to have that open, honest communication. And then I discovered like ethical non-monogamy. I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. The people who actually participate in it, they called themselves that, like on their profiles of OkCupid. It definitely was a lot more mature. Like, they had a lot more emotional intelligence. And I did feel that was like going through like the experience of being poly had been like an acceleration of like emotional intelligence. Like, you really have to learn how to like communicate with people, be empathetic, and also learn like your own boundaries for yourself too. And that's a whole nother thing where like I'm not poly anymore because like I've learned stuff about myself that made me realize like, you know what, maybe it's not for me right now.
I can't do that.
Yeah, as like a person who like works full time and works overtime, like I honestly like I can't have time for even myself sometimes.
Yeah, that is something that I don't think I could deal with. Is I barely have time for one partner. I actually went to like on a date or two with this guy who had like 6 partners.
Damn.
Like literally,
Yeah.
one lived in New York, one lived somewhere else, like 3 lived here.
Jeez.
And so scheduling with him was so crazy because it would be like 2 weeks in advance.
Oh my
He'd be like, do you want to
God.
come over the night of August 9th? You know?
Yeah.
And like watch a movie or something.
So you had
And-
like a calendar of
yeah,
Yeah.
he did. And I'm like, how do you
Yeah.
do this?
There's no room for like spontaneity
I
at
know.
that point.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what did you how did you deal with jealousy?
I did definitely get jealous.
You did.
Yeah, I think it's if the partner just like didn't communicate well enough, then I will start feeling jealousy. I had 2 other partners at the time who were seeing other people too, on top of my current, like my boyfriend at that time. And I even went to like their apartments, like they lived with other people too. And so like he was like, oh yeah, you're not going to meet her yet because she's not quite comfortable. We're like, you know, we're non-monogamous, we're open, but she's not quite there yet. So like even they had like discussed and like had their own boundaries too. But I never felt jealous about it because I'm like, oh, you know, they talked about it. No, it's all good. It's okay. Like and he's telling me about it. It's all good. I don't have anything to worry about. And then my other partner, he was just like so open about everything and just tell me his experiences with like his partner and be like, yeah, I didn't realize that she had boyfriend until she told me later, and she had been hiding me from him, and I was just like, that is
Damn.
not okay.
That's not how it's
Yeah,
supposed to be.
yeah. He was like, yeah, it didn't quite work out, obviously. But that's how it be like, though. Some people will be like, hey, you're poly. I'm going to take advantage of that. And they don't realize that it's a lot of, you have to put in work. It's an actual relationship and a lot actual partnership. It's not just like, I'm just going to hook up and just like disregard everybody's feelings in this. That's not how it is.
Yeah. I feel like some people use that as like a cloak to be able to be a fuckboy. Like they want to say
I've had a lot of that.
Like ethical non-monogamy, but really it's just like I want to fuck around.
Yeah, or they like won't tell their partner that they want to be poly, and they'll just cheat on people and say they're poly, and it's like,
yeah,
you're not.
And then that's not poly. Like I'm always
That's not poly.
Yeah, I'm on Reddit, and poly gets a lot of hate because there's like this subreddit called like True Off My Chest or something, or Our Relationships or whatever. But a lot of the times, like people be like, oh, I hate polyamorous relationships. But then I read like their story and I'm like, that's not being poly. It just seems like you guys are just like using this word to get away with like shitty behavior towards each other. Like that's not how it is. It's not, you guys aren't being honest.
Yeah.
And like communicating, like that's the most important part of it. And yeah, I've definitely met guys where I told them up front how, you know, I was like, oh, this is my situation. And they're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm down. Because they're like, you know, they perceive me as like this easy person.
Yeah.
But then when I tell them later, I'm like, oh, hey, you know that one guy that we met at the barcade? Like, I ended up hanging out with him and he was like so cool. And then they'll be like, I'm going to fucking punch his teeth in the next time I see him. Can you tell him that? And I was like, get the fuck out of my house. Like,
this is not what this is.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not about this like toxic masculinity thing either. And I was just telling my current partner about this. Like, the people that I had been in relations with that were non-monogamous were at least like embracing their more feminine side, because they're all guys, but they weren't like the most masculine men.
Yeah.
And they were aware of that and they embraced it. But then the guys that I were seeing, like, they exclusively dated women, but they knew that they were feminine. They knew how they were being perceived. And like, you know, they weren't the stereotypical manly man.
There's definitely a correlation there.
Maybe
like, it's even like
an open-mindedness.
Yeah. Open-mindedness. And then also I feel like if you are hyper-masculine or like have been taught to live in a patriarchal world in the traditional sense as a male, it'd be harder for you to deal with like polyamory in the open and honest communication kind of way.
You're like,
because of jealousy.
Yeah,
like,
you're my partner. I own you. You are mine. And that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, oh, you have your own brain and you can make decisions for your own. And like, that's not how it's supposed to be in a patriarchal society.
You said that polyamory led you to your current relationship.
Okay, yeah.
How so?
So with my current partner, well, he had been there through my whole experience. We weren't partners, we weren't together. I was still like identifying as like non-monogamous poly when like before we officially started dating. And I was seeing a partner. He knew that I was seeing my current partner at the time, and my current partner knew I was seeing him at the time. And they even hung out and they were like really cool about it too.
Ethical.
Yeah, it was ethical.
Ethical.
They were friends. I'm just saying they were friends. Like they really like were cool about it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
So my current partner went to go visit my other partner in LA. We were in Phoenix at the time, like living there. But went to go visit him in LA because he had just moved. And I think that's when my partner realized, like, oh, I actually just want to be exclusive. And then I told him, I was like, yeah, you know what? I want to be exclusive too. And that's how we end up becoming exclusive together.
Now,
So
5 years later.
yeah, 5 years later. And
Still going strong.
but being poly really helped me express like my own boundaries and learn how to communicate that with my partner, because I feel like people who are monogamous kind of assume certain things like, oh, what is cheating? Like you really do need to define that with your partner.
Agree.
And for me, like I know that he gets a lot of attention from men and women, like everyone. Like he's very androgynous, and I'm not offended by that at all, because I'm like, oh, they're not gonna go home and like sleep with you. Like that's I think that's the only thing is like I know you're coming home with me. Yeah, like you could
you trust him.
Yeah, like I trust my partner, and like sometimes I know like being nice to people can be perceived as like flirting, and I'm like, you know, other people can see it that way and they can think whatever they want, but like for me, I'm like, he's just being nice and polite, you know?
He's just a nice guy.
Yeah. Like let him compliment, like he like will openly compliment people like in front of me, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's really hot. Like she looks good.
Yeah. That's what me and my partner do. We're like, did you see that butt?
Yeah.
Wait, me and my partner don't really do that, should we?
Well,
Me and my ex-partner used to do that sometimes, but
I think my partner's just really excited to date a bi girl because he can like point out. I told him it's fine, you know, because I'm like, I'm not jealous, like it's fine.
Yeah.
But he'll like point out people sometimes. He's like, would you smash? Like,
he's just never had a relationship like that where you can talk
he's
about
like
it
so
together.
stoked about it. And he's like, I'm like, did you see that donk? And he's like, where?
And it's just, and like it's all hypothetical, so it's just fun to be.
Stop objectifying women.
Yeah.
Sorry, can't help it. They're beautiful.
I'm just like I'm disgusting, honestly.
I'm like such a perv sometimes. I'm like, look at that ass.
Yeah. It's hard not to.
You know, when the ass is assing,
when it's popping.
it's like, girl, you know what you got, and I'm gonna look at it.
So with that, what would you define in your current relationship as crossing the line? Like where is the line?
I would say like I'm like also like the kind of person's like, I don't want you to be too emotionally involved with people.
Yeah. Do you think like emotionally is worse than physical stuff, or is it kind of the same?
So I had both, and they both sucked. Like having that experience, I've had. Yeah, I don't know which one's worse because they both hurt. You know, like knowing that, hey, like I made these boundaries with my partner, this like my past partner, and they slept with someone, and like they didn't tell me about it until later, and I was just like, like this was not like I communicated with you that what my boundaries were, and this was not a part of it. Like if you were gonna do this, like, you know, that's fine, like if you told me, like, but I don't know if that was just like me being like, it's hard because like sometimes you like, am I being possessive?
Yeah.
Or am I being too possessive, or am I being like, this is okay because I'm setting my boundaries?
Yeah.
So sometimes like setting boundaries could make you kind of like a crazy person if your relationship's not healthy.
Especially if they don't respect those boundaries. It's like, bro, I am literally so cool.
Yeah.
I'm poly. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
But
just tell me.
Exactly.
I have a friend who literally said that, like, she doesn't identify as poly or anything, but she told her boyfriend, I'm down if you ever want to explore someone else. Like, I'm totally down. Just be honest with me and be open with me about it.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't.
Yeah.
He
so
it's like behind her back.
Yes, he
I'm giving you a little pass. Yeah. And that's all you have to do.
All you have to do is
tell me, and you still hid this shit from me. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I broke up with his ass. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're not together anymore.
Yeah, it's just it's not healthy. Don't date liars.
Don't date liars and cheaters. But that's wild. Why do you think he did that? Like, what would be the like? Just
I think
cowardice?
He's just a little. Yeah, I think he's a little pussy. I think he's like, I like am not brave enough to like tell my girlfriend that I'm actually seeing somebody else. Yeah. I don't know. It's like stupid.
Yeah, why do people do that?
I think it's just being a coward, honestly. I think
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, she's saying that, but does she really mean it? And then maybe it's like the thrill of the secret that they like. I don't know, but it's just bonkers to me.
Maybe it's like this kind of like power that they're withholding this kind of information from their partner.
Yeah, maybe.
Or I thought maybe it would be like, if they tell her that, then it's opening the door for her to do the same thing, and they don't want that.
Ooh,
Oh,
It's
that's
like
another
like a
problem then.
possessive
I could
thing.
definitely see that.
Yeah.
I've been slut shamed a lot for being poly.
Really?
It's like, oh, they were interested in me because I was open, and they were like, oh, that means that I could see other people. But the moment that I said that I was seeing someone else, they would just like immediately like become really toxic. Like toxic masculinity will start bubbling up. And
Dude, that's how I feel like my boss is treating me right now.
mm,
Like the moment. No, but for real.
once you're like, I'm gonna leave
they're
now,
like,
I found something better. But no, like I was still seeing this person, but I was like just mentioning like, hey, I'm seeing this other person too. They're like, all right, I'm gonna beat his teeth in. Just let him know that.
Well, like this is not the point of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I'm not
trying
like,
to avoid this kind of situation.
like, yeah, I don't want this alpha
Don't
male.
be with me if you can't handle
Yeah.
the fact that I'm seeing other people.
So that's definitely a thing. Like a lot of guys who they like the idea of being poly, but they don't understand what it means. You do get a lot of that toxic masculinity coming up to the surface.
If you can't handle me at my dating other people, then you don't deserve me at you dating other people.
Ooh,
am I right?
You're right.
Marilyn Monroe said that.
What a queen. What a polyamorous queen.
She was ahead of her time.
Wasn't she bi or something?
I would believe it if she was.
I would too, but I
maybe
don't
she
think
was
so.
in the closet. Who knows?
She also wasn't thick girl. She's skinny as
she
fuck.
was a size 6, right?
She was
Sorry, but she's skinny.
quote unquote
She is.
thick at that time.
For the time, I guess. But I look at pictures and people are like, look, she's so curvy and so like larger than other women. And
I'm like,
look at her
she has
arms.
the normal curves. I told y'all she's
Marilyn
bi.
Monroe's bi.
Marilyn Monroe.
That was from our researcher and fact checker. So Marilyn Monroe was a bi icon. A bicon.
A bicon?
As you said.
Icon.
Do you think you could ever go back to that lifestyle?
Like
No.
with your current partner right now, could you?
I think
If he was like, "Hey, Boba, listen, I think we need to be poly."
I think it's okay. I would probably be the one to bring that up first, not him.
Okay.
That is the thing, is like I was the one who was poly to begin with, and he was the one who wanted like an exclusive relationship. And I
Yeah.
wanted to respect that because I was like, I hit a point where in my life I just needed stability. And I think, yeah, being monogamous is mostly out of like necessity. Like I work all the time. I don't even hang out with like, you guys that often, like maybe like once every other week or something.
Yeah.
But, so like, how can I maintain other friendships and relationships with people? Like I don't have that time available for myself. So realistically, I don't think I could, just because I am also like very introverted. I love having time on my own. After a long day, I just want to just like be by myself. So I had a period of time where I was able to be active and like really explore with other people, but I'm at a point where I'm just like, I'm too old.
Like you're good. Like you're good where you are. Right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I don't. But if you were to bring that up, I honestly wouldn't. I don't think I would mind, because I'm just open to it. I know at one point, and I still kind of believe this, like, if we have feelings for people, why do we live in like a society that confines you to like, you need to be faithful to one person? Because like you already have these kind of relationships with like your friends too. Like I feel like if you can have those relationships with friends, like complex friendships that are platonic, then as humans, we can be more, we're very complex enough to the point where we could do that with other people. We just live in a society that wants you to be monogamous and like they want you to live a certain way.
Yeah, I feel like...
But no, it's a good point. I feel like we're definitely in a world where it's just the norm to be in a monogamous relationship. But if we thought about like romantic relationships in the same way as friendships, then even though it's a different kind of relationship, it still could work if you have the communication.
Yeah, friends can be jealous of other friends.
Yeah, I'm jealous of all of Kirsten's friends.
Oh yeah,
Really?
I'm like, fuck those bitches.
But you're friends with them too for the most
I'm like,
part.
who's Boba? Fuck that bitch.
Like, who's Allie? You've known her for like ever
You like
before
her
me.
better than me. Just kidding.
She just moved here.
I'm not a jealous friend, but I've had jealous friends before, and it's weird. But I was gonna say, I think you can also get different aspects of people and like things that you need out of relationships from different people. Like,
I agree.
This person may be really good at this and giving you this thing that you need, but then this person you really connect on like a more intellectual level or like a more spiritual level or like something. So I think it is kind of nice for poly people to have like more relationships that kind of fulfill them in all different aspects.
Yeah, because there's always going to be gaps.
Yeah.
That reminds me of something my ex used to say. The analogy that he always made was like, not analogy, but comparison. He was like, for example, I don't like skiing, but what if my partner really loves to ski? I'm not going to be dragged over there to like the mountain and have to put on all the gear. It's like a lot, you know, and that person should be able to do skiing if they love skiing and do it with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true. And that could be for literally anything.
I don't want my partner to feel like
Limited.
like they're a one-stop shop. I need you to be my best friend. I need you to listen to all my problems. I need you to also be my sexual partner.
And like my feminine energy.
Yeah,
like
you need
energy.
Yeah, you need to be everything. And sometimes I'm like, that's a lot of pressure for one person. I don't think that's healthy. If you want to be that person and you both want to do that, that's fine. But I just know for me personally, like I would feel bad for my partner if they even if they expressed, you know, like, hey, this is too much for me. That's where you have like a community and you can get those needs from other people. I think that's why attracted to me to like being poly in the first place, because like I learned quickly that my time and energy needed to be respected.
Yeah.
And then I learned that other people do too. So it's not like, you know, they shouldn't be the sole provider for that, for one person. It's a lot.
Thank you for taking your time out and talking to us about this. We really appreciate you.
Aww.
We really appreciate having you on the pod. And I feel like there'll be other things to have you on the pod for in the future. So she might be back, guys.
If you like her.
If you like her, let us know. We'll put a poll. Do you like Boba? Yes.
There's a lot of pressure.
Tell us what you think of this episode. And if you say anything mean, we won't tell her.
Yeah, we won't tell her at all.
No, I'm going to know. And it's okay if you don't like me.
No, everyone loves you.
Everyone loves Boba. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining this episode. We had a lot of fun. Happy to finally introduce you guys to one of our friends. Although we did before, but one of our friends in LA.
Active listener.
An active listener. Yeah, she is really on it.
Yeah.
One of our best fans. So we're so excited to get to talk to her on the pod. Stay tuned for part 2 and probably part 3 of this episode coming soon. We're thinking about maybe doing like not in a row the parts.
Yeah, we want to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, it might be that we have a different topic next week. The people that we hand selected for this, that we curated, all have very unique experiences.
Yes.
So yeah, I hope you guys loved this episode. Follow us on all the social medias. We are Thank You So Much Pod
on Instagram.
On Instagram and
Twitter.
Gmail and Twitter.
I refuse to call it X.
Yeah, fuck that.
We're on Twitter. We have to mention last week's poll.
Mm-hmm.
So, we talked about our prehistoric animals that are still alive today. And one of our main question here was, would you eat a possum? And surprisingly, 100% of votes say, sure, I'll try anything.
Wow, y'all are gross.
Y'all are crazy.
Y'all are rancid.
Oh my God. Well,
anywho,
make sure to interact with this episode too. We'll have another poll.
We'll have a poll up there for you guys. Yeah. And we love you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Mwah.
Mwah.